Hello? Hello? Dex, you can't start talking already. She's coming over. She's gonna... God, we look like a bum today. Whatever. Here's the star of the show. Look at her tail. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't it? This is like alien. But she's keeping it and waving it in my face. We good? Feel like I'm not good, but we're done, I guess. We're here. We're here. We're leaving the lights on. We're not shutting them off this time. How we doing, ladies, gents, whatever else is out there? We're not putting y'all in. It's June. Am I supposed to include the gays? Are we supposed to get gay around here? Should I say I support gays? Am I supposed to do that? We support gays as a company. Look, she's so flinchy. I don't support gay people. I'm gonna say it right now. Ooh, I'm on the edge. You don't either. What are you doing to support them, huh? You giving them money? Didn't think so. You're not supporting shit but yourself. That's what we're all doing. Stop acting like a good person saying you support. But I'm not saying I'm putting them down, but I'm not supporting them. They can do their own thing. They gotta fight for themselves just like me. I'm here. I'm here. You're here. We're all here. Happy Gay Month. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind, guys. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of cancel culture. It doesn't exist. It only exists if you let it. Alright? That's what I'll be saying when they're knocking at my doors. Get him out of here. You hear what he's saying? He says he hates us. I didn't say that, but I will say it. I hate you. There, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna kill me? Alright. Alright. You're just gonna end me sooner than later, I guess. Look, she's so jumpy. I'm just reaching for my chips. She's getting fur all over me. It's already hot. Maybe a sweater was a bad choice. If only you could smell these. You said, Kyle, where's your drink? You always have a drink. It's coming. When you got a cat on you, you postpone getting up. You know how it is. You're like, my cat's comfortable. I don't want to inconvenience her by getting up. She's all snuggly, pushing in. Say, give me more love, human. For those of you that are new here, which is probably no one, but we read a book. We read pages from this book. But before we read from this here book and take something maybe graspable for our human mind that we can walk in our day-to-day lives. Look at all this hair. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it's everywhere. It's all over me. But before we read the book, I'm here. I'm here to share whatever's going on. There's chips in my throat. We got some jerky. Here's the mic. Some fine-tuning adjustments, and there we go. We're off to the races. I like that angle right there. Thanks. Cool. What are we snacking on? We're snacking on pure protein. That's what we're snacking on. Pure protein chips. Barbecue. That's what I had in the pantry, so I was like, why not? Paired with a delicious new tonic from our boy Chris Williamson and James Smith. Not sponsored. First snack since breakfast. We're gonna have to include breakfast time. We're gonna start having breakfast videos. Breakfast time with Kyle. What do I have for breakfast? Nothing fancy. A black coffee and a protein pastry. It's what I eat 80% of the time. I know, exciting stuff. And now we're eating jerky. Cheers. You want a bite? I wish we could do that. It's one of my older jerkies. Good, I'm getting rid of it. Glad I'm getting rid of it. Good, I'm getting rid of it. Once we finish up snack time here, we'll begin our reading. So, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this snack. You go ahead and do whatever you gotta do. Let's take a little sneak peek. What are we gonna be reading today? What chapter are we on? We're on week 3 of Letting Go. Last week was, what if this were easy? But this week is the reverse golden rule on not being your own worst enemy. It's kind of funny that that comes up because I've been thinking about that a lot this week. I don't know why. I know why. I'm just telling you I don't know why because I don't want to tell you. But I know why. But we really are our own worst enemy. We really are. It's not the people around us. We make our own monsters. We listen to others through ourselves. We create the enemy within us. And that could be a good thing. Use it as fuel to complete a mission. But most of us are just living in our head, living through other people's heads. We're in our own head, thinking what other people are saying. But it's us saying it. We're fighting nobody. We're fighting the air. We're swinging. It's humanity. Everyone's doing it. When we all could just chill. Nothing's really happening. Just chill, calm down, find some time to breathe, you know? Enjoy the pause, the quiet, the calm. Just take a moment. We're not in a hurry, guys. We're all gonna die in the end. Beef jerky and these barbecue chips mixed with this new tonic. It's so good. So good. I'm telling you. This is what can... I'm not saying this is happiness, but this is small little things that are big things that bring people joy. Food. Find these little things. What is this, like a... You can get this probably for like $2. I don't know, $1.50. I haven't bought them in a long time. Buy them off Amazon when they're on sale. This is the most expensive part. 2, 4. This snack is like $5. That's a lot of money. But it's worth it. It's worth it. See, most people buy like Starbucks. I'm buying this. I get a whole snack. I don't get just one large coffee. I get a beef jerky, a bag of chips, and an energy drink. Alright? And this isn't just any energy drink. There's nootropics in here. If you believe in all that stuff. Brain boosting, vitamins. You got L-theanine, Panax ginseng, Rhodolia rosé, Cognizin, 120 milligrams of natural caffeine. I'm not saying all these words right, but I don't care. Liquid dietary supplement. But yeah, I'm excited to read this chapter. See what it's on. Creating our own enemy and all. But yeah, I keep going back to that in my head this week. And it's more so on my end. It's like if you're doubting yourself on something. You're creating that. You're creating the enemy. And then you start thinking from other people's aspects on what success is. And then you start valuing your own actions off of other people's ideas of what you're after. Don't do that. Go after what you want. What makes you happy. Or don't listen to me. And do whatever you want. I'm just here chilling with my cat. Eating protein chips in my basement. Going on about nothing. Butte. Alright, we're about done here. Whoa! Jesus Christ. It's getting the shit out of me. Why are you so jumpy? She's gonna claw me to death. Alright. Better watch that Drake. We've seen her tail knock over things before. Alright, let's begin our read. I really hope I hit record right. That'd have been awful. Sad. Devastating. Let's try to read with Dax in the way. We're on, you already heard it. Oh gosh. Day 16, the reverse golden rule on not being your own worst enemy. Alright. Let me tell you how many pages we got here before I bore you to death. Before I bore you. You only gotta sit through me going 1, 2, 3. We got about 4.5, 5 pages. It's a little long one, I know. And it's gonna be hard reading with little Wolfie here. Little Daxie. We call her Wolfie when we don't want her to know. But I think she's catching on that we call her both now. So, she's chilling right now, which is good. Were we to meet this figure socially, this character, this internal critic, this unrelenting fault finder, we would think there was something wrong with him. He would just be boring and cruel. We might think that something terrible had happened to him, that he was living in the aftermath, the fallout of some catastrophe, and we would be right. Adam Phillips. That's how we're starting the chapter. Take that as you will. I don't know what that meant, but I feel like you were talking about ourselves, just like we were saying earlier. That's what I'm gonna take that as. I'm being your own worst enemy type thing. At this point, we'd better confront the issue that's almost always to blame. Deep down, when you find yourself getting in your own way and making things harder than they need to be, which is lack of self-compassion. Self-compassion. Give yourself... Jesus fucking Christ. Why? God. We're gonna go on. Why is she so skittish? Where'd she go? I can hear her upstairs. Should I be scared? I hear somebody upstairs. I think it's the mailman. Give me a heart attack. Gosh. Give yourself self-compassion anyway. That's what we're on about. It's a true thing, though. We don't really give ourselves... We give other people compassion much more than ourselves. Why? I was eating a crumb. I think it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. I think we should be hard on ourselves. That's how we become better. That's how we become better versions of ourselves. If we weren't hard on ourselves. There's obviously a level to everything, a balance, but I think there's a healthy version of being hard on yourself. That's how we become better humans. But you gotta hold the standards you give other people to yourself. You gotta remember that. It's important. All right, let's move on. This is a good chapter so far. It's time to talk about being kinder to yourself. This is a good chapter. I'm ahead of it. I know. It makes me cringe too. Unfortunately, that's exactly why the topic mustn't be avoided. I already like how he's approaching it. For years, I collected quotations that encapsulated the approach I wanted to take towards the accomplishments of worthwhile things, which was down to earth, no nonsense, unpretentious. One of the best known examples comes from the artist Chuck Close. Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work. It's good. That's what I say about motivation. Similar thing about motivation. Fuck motivation. Get to work. Don't look for it. The choreographer George Balanchine, I'm not saying these words right and I don't care, liked to say that my muse must come to me on union time. He needed to be ready to work when his dancers were there to be choreographed. And there's the line attributed to both William Faulkner and W. Sumrest Mehugget, all these damn names, which arguably borders on the smug, but that makes a similar point. I only write when inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes at 9 every morning. That was the kind of person I wanted to be, the kind that just goes on with things, regardless of how inspired or fired up I happen to feel. That's what I always say. I always show up here, even if I don't feel like it. Today I feel like it. I feel good, but these are fun to do. I feel like there's no pressure. I show up and I talk to you. I read. Some days I don't want to come here. You show up and you do the work, okay? So you just take that with you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but do it. There's definitely some merit in this approach. It helps drain the drama from certain activities, especially those we intimidatingly label creative, make it easier to get over yourself and take action. On the surface, it appears to embody the spirit of imperfectionism. It's just that it never seemed to work particularly well for me. And one day, I discovered a blog post by the meditation teacher Susan Piver that helped me understand why. Honestly, the title was enough. It was Getting Stuff Done by Not Being Mean to Yourself. Piver was another fan in theory of Chuck Close's inspiration is for amateurs philosophy, but she brilliantly evoked its unfortunate flip side, which is that all too easily morphs into the barked internal command that you ought to be able to do whatever it is you've decided to do, whenever it is you've determined you'll do it, precisely because no inspiration ought to be required, and if you don't, you're a good-for-nothing worm. I've spent a lot of time in my life trying to force myself to do things, Piver wrote. Really good things. Things that are important to me, things like meditating, journaling, going to the gym, and so on. I set schedules over and over. I'll arise at 5, meditate 5:30 to 6:30, journal 6:30 to 7:30, breakfast 8 to 9, and so on. I fail way more than I succeed, which makes me really, really upset. I get angrier and angrier at myself, curse my lack of discipline, shame myself for watching Battlestar Galactica again instead of writing, delve into my psychology hoping to unearth the seeds of self-sabotage. It spirals out of control until I either give in to lying on the couch or somehow manage to squeeze out a day of discipline according to schedule, whereupon I exhale half sigh of relief and immediately begin bullying myself to repeat this tomorrow. It sucks. And so one day, feeling she had little to lose from trying something different, she asked herself what would happen if she did what she felt like doing, when she felt like doing it, which is another way of asking the question we encountered yesterday. What if this were easy? Right away, interestingly, fear swept through. If I'm not vigilant about making myself do stuff, I won't do anything. But that's not what happened. Following Pleasure's lead, she had a more productive day, completing the task she usually yelled at herself to do. Only this time, it seemed effortless. I had such a light heart. Which makes sense on reflection because when you do what you feel like doing, you get used to your desires as fuel for action, rather than constantly diverting energy and attention to overcoming them. It's easy to believe that if you let yourself do what you want, you might spend the day scrolling slack-jawed through Instagram. But often the truth is that scrolling slack-jawed through Instagram is what happens after you've told yourself you can't do what you want, because you can't afford to or don't deserve to. And you grow so resentful or annoyed by whatever you try to force yourself to do instead that you reach for your phone as a distraction. Some might object that this is a sign of immense privilege even to be able to contemplate spending the day doing what you feel like doing. And of course, this is true. So far as it goes, almost everyone's situation will impose certain limits on their freedom to follow their desires. And it's much worse for some than others. But it's important to see that this objection, God damn it, Dex, I lost my spot. But it is important to see that this objection itself is often the inner taskmaster in disguise, seeking to make you feel bad for taking advantage of whatever freedom you do have. There's no prize for failing. Spend your time as you wish, to whatever extent you're able, out of a misplaced sense of solidarity with those who cannot. In any case, treating yourself a little more kindly needn't be anywhere near as self-indulgent as those of us with an allergy of... I thought she was going to jump again. In any case, treating yourself a little more kindly needn't be anywhere near as self-indulgent as those of us with an allergy to self-compassion tend to assume. It's not about narcissistically declaring yourself to be any more deserving of an easy life than anyone else. It's quite sufficient a challenge to seek to follow what the philosopher Adio Londoa calls the reverse golden rule. That is, not treating yourself in punishing and poisonous ways in which you'd never dream of treating someone else. See, I was just saying that. Treat yourself how you would have treat others. There's a balance to everything. They're not saying, like, become a bum, and you know what, I'm gonna do every desire that comes up. They're more saying, give yourself some room. Get creative. Find some sort of rhythm that works. Maybe taking time off of your job will actually benefit you in some way, like whatever your task is, and then come back to it. That sort of thing. You get it. You understand. There's nuance in all this. You can't be so literal all the time. Can you imagine berating a friend in the manner that many of us deem it acceptable to screech internally at ourselves all day long? Adam Phillips is exactly right. Were you to meet such a person at a party, they'd immediately strike you as obviously unbalanced. You might try to get them to leave, and possibly also seek help. It might occur to you that they must be damaged. Philip's words, something terrible must have happened to them, for them to think it appropriate to act that way. Well, something terrible did happen, and the fact that it happens to almost all of us, in one way or another, is no reason to pretend otherwise. From somewhere, your parents, the culture, or religion, you internalize the notion that if you didn't watch yourself like a hawk, disaster might strike. That if you were to cut yourself some slack and follow your own agenda, that might lead to your being abandoned or humiliated or overwhelmed by emotions or financially ruined. See, that sort of thing. We're just saying you don't gotta be so strict all the time. Have fun. Don't become a robot. Be a human. This is what it's like to be human. We're not machines. Even though you could say we are, but we're not. We're a different kind of machine. The details differ too much from person to person to try to elaborate them here. But whatever the belief comes from, it belongs to the past. It isn't reasonable assessment of what would be likely to happen now. For you to treat yourself more decently. As Susan Piver discovered, what you generally find instead is that you do want to honor your commitments, pay your bills, keep yourself physically healthy, and so on. Because the person you are behind all the screeching and yelling is a worthless layabout after all. Self-indulgent, if anything, it's constantly berating yourself that the self-indulgent path, reflecting the inner taskmaster's hubristic belief that he or she could bully you into doing anything, merely by shouting loudly enough. Facing up to reality, as finite human beings must, means facing up to the reality of your moods, desires, and interests too. This is why it takes courage to ask yourself the question that I suspect all those gurus promoting the warrior's mindset and mental toughness are too frightened to ask themselves. How would you like to spend your time today? Dramatic effect. Good book. Good book. Good chapter. Let's put this bookmark where we ended up. And that's a good point. How would you like to spend your time today? Not how you have to spend your time today. How would you like to spend your time today? Much of us are always, like I said, too strict, fitting into an agenda, having to follow it all the way through. Maybe you want to do an agenda. Maybe you want to follow a strict routine. Sometimes it's good to break out. Have fun. Get spontaneous. That was a good chapter, though. I liked it. They're not saying to become a fucking slacker. Like everything, balance. Balance, baby. Learn to ride a unicycle. That's what they're saying. Balance. Next chapter, next week. We show up here every week, so if you enjoyed this, then you're going to enjoy next week, because you will, because it's the same thing. Oh, wow, and it's short. It's short. It's literally 3 pages. It's shorter than this one. So if you thought this was long or short, the next one's shorter. Don't stand in generosity's way on the futility of becoming a better person. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. They're all good, though. Have we had a bad one? We're on page 93. Have you been following this whole series? Because you're almost done with... You've technically read this book, too. For free. You're welcome. I saved you, like, I don't know, $12. That's how much I bought this for. Maybe one day, the Oliver Burkeman will see this video and he'll be like, wow, that's cool. That guy read my book and he's weird. Why is this the kind of people that I attract? Yes, Oliver. That's a weird name. Anyone ever tell you your name's weird? Oliver? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You can tell me my name's weird too. I don't know what we're talking about. But you have a good way of words. I love you. All right, I'm out. I got things to do. I gotta put this video together. I look like I'm in slacking. I'm not, I promise. I can just wear whatever I want because I'm here on YouTube. You're in my home. And I have no dress code. We're gonna show up naked one time. I can't do that, but I could. You could just block things out. One day, I'll show up in a clown costume. Well, I'm done. I feel good. This was a quick one for me. I've only been here 33 minutes. That's exciting stuff. I don't have to sit through a whole bunch of bullshit. You know how good that is for me? That's good news for me. That doesn't matter for you. Just sharing you my excitement. Straight to the point. It's getting better. Easier workflow for me means I'm a happier person. If I'm a happier person, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter for you, so. All right. I'm gonna go put this video together and I'm gonna, probably maybe distract myself and watch some, a whole bunch of video games got released this week, a whole bunch of announcements, state of play. Maybe I'll go watch that, see what's going on. So, yeah, maybe I'll do that, edit, procrastinate a little, and watch some video game stuff. That's what I'm going to be doing. Cheers. My drink's still not done. And the video is over. The episode is over. What's up with that? I say that. Me and my friend have like this inside joke. We always are like, what's up with that? But we used to work at a gym and there was this old cleaner lady and she would just walk around and she would like say something like about somebody and then she'd be like, what's up with that? She died of brain cancer. I'll leave you with that. What's up with that? Meow, say goodbye. Say I'll see you later.